Hello everybody in YouTube land, it's me Teja and I'm back to do another video for my Thursday installment of Trans Youth channel. So do welcome back, thank you for subscribing and thank you for tuning in this week. Again, if you have any questions, just send them to transyouthchannel@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So this week's topic is all about, getting to know us as individuals because we answer so many questions and we're seeing so many new faces that it's good to have a refresher and get to know everybody again. And kind of just get to know us and our goals and stuff, and more in relations to transition than actual like anything else. But my name is Teja, in case you haven't noticed, and I work in fashion. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, basically I started transitioning about a year ago. I'm not on hormones, I'm not self-medicating, I'm just full-time, living full-time as female. My name is legally changed. I'm getting my new ID soon. Everybody knows me as female. No one knows me as male, especially at my work. No one knows that I've transitioned other than my boss. And I mean, I guess there's a lot of goals that I have in terms of, my transition. Because I mean, I guess for me, my transition isn't necessarily just my transition. It's my life, you know what I mean? And I think I kind of look at it in a broader spectrum rather than just this and this and this and this. My first goal, obviously, isn't really a goal, it's just something that's going to happen regardless, is to start hormones in the summer. This summer I have my appointment with the gender clinic in London, so I will be traveling down there to have all my tests done, have physical examination, and then I will be starting hormones. Finally. It's only been a year. What else? And I mean, from there I'm just gonna see how things go. I don't have any plans for plastic surgery. I'm just gonna play it by ear because for me, I prefer looking natural. I feel that I'm quite blessed to look the way I do. I don't feel the need that I need any surgery. But again, that depends on how hormones affect my body, because I guess there is a certain image of how I've seen myself, and I would like that to be maintained, but obviously in the most natural looking way possible. So if my breasts don't develop, I might get, some implants or something. And same thing with my bum, because I just like the idea of having a bigger bum. I'm very straight up and down, so having curves is something that I've always wanted, and if hormones won't help me with that, then some surgery will help, but that is a very last resort. I don't really necessarily feel the need for it. In terms of SRS, that is a difficult question for me because of a couple of things. I know after being on hormones for a certain amount of time, you lose your ability to have children, and I've been taking precautionary measures in order to, make sure that everything is set up for when I do start hormones. But because it's important for me to have children, I don't think I want to have SRS right away. I might have it a little later in life, and I don't mind that. I don't mind waiting for it, to be quite frank with you. It is something that I do feel that I need, not because for the sake of having a vagina, but for a number of reasons, such as I don't feel comfortable with the lower part of my body. Things like tucking every day is extremely painful, and I don't like doing it. Like, it's actually the most painful thing for me to do, just because of all of the abrasion and rubbing and things like that. It's just it's not a good scene, and it's really uncomfortable, and I cannot make it through a full day without having to like run down to the bathroom and adjust my underwear, you know, a million times to make sure that I'm secured. And what else? And you know, like another thing that, you know, what makes me want to wait for SRS is the fact that this is a surgery that's going to happen once, and this is a surgery that is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And it's not a decision that I will regret making, it's actually having the surgery, but it's who I have the surgery with. Now here in the UK, everything in your transition is paid for by the NHS. That includes hormones, laser of your genital region for prep for surgery and your surgery, and any like storing, you know, sperm for future children, stuff like that. That's all covered. The only thing that's not covered is cosmetic procedures, such as getting your boobs done, your nose done, facial feminization. Those things are not covered by the NHS. Now, the thing is that because the NHS pays for it, there's only a limited number of doctors that you can have. And in the UK, that's 2 different doctors, Dr. Bellringer and Dr. Thomas. And I've seen both of the results, and they're okay, but the results that I like are from Dr. Broussard in Montreal, or Dr. McGinn in Pennsylvania. And those are the 2 doctors that I would want to do my surgery. And if that means that I'm going to have to wait 10, 15, 20 years to have my surgery, so be it, because I'm going to make sure that it's perfect for me. I don't want to have something that I look down at and regret because of all the scarring and all that as well. I mean, also for me, it's just the aftercare issue as well. Is here in the UK, the aftercare for SRS is actually quite crap. And I know that knowing my body and knowing the way I heal and knowing what I'll need in terms of recovery, I know that going to Canada or going to the States to have my surgery will be the best option for me. I'll be closer to family, so people will be able to be there for me and take care of me, and I will be able to stay, you know, with family during my recovery time. Also, because the fact that I'll have a longer stay in hospital and a longer stay in kind of like an aftercare facility with the doctor, so I'm not traveling back and forth all the time at a far distance, as well as the fact that, you know, the staff there are a little bit more specialized in that particular field of surgery. So, you know, that's the only thing they deal with is the SRS surgery, and that is what they are most confident in. So they're most competent in taking care of SRS patients. I just blabbed on about that for a while now. But I mean, for me, it is a huge important thing, and I'm not going to just kind of have it because I want it. You know, I've made it this far in my life with the thing that I have, and I can probably survive another 10. Yes, SRS is a necessity, and yes, it would need to happen sooner rather than later, but I'd rather make the right conscious decision rather than rush myself into a decision that I'll regret later. Other goals is, you know, getting married, having kids, that whole shebang, you know, owning property, you know, being an advocate, being able to speak to young people who are going through the same issues, making more YouTube videos about my transition, just general things like that are my goals. You know, I want to continue to work up the ladder at my job and eventually, you know, be the head of my job and be, you know, making some decent money. And I think the biggest goal in my entire transition is just to be the best person I can be every single day. That is probably the most important goal that I have. I don't care whether I am not the most feminine looking girl, the most feminine sounding girl, if I end up alone with cats, if I, you know, never have my SRS surgery. As long as I can know that I am trying my hardest every single day to be the best person I can be. That's all I can ask for. And to continue to learn to love and respect myself every single day is the most vital thing for me. And those are my goals in transition. That is what I look forward to, and that's what I aspire to do every single day. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Tell me what your guys' goals are. Post them in the comments below. Make sure you thumbs up this video and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you have questions, send them to transyouth@gmail.com, and we will answer your questions in a future video. I'd also like to take time. I had something stuck in my mouth. I also like to take the time to welcome our new Friday host, E. Lind, or Eric, I believe her name is. I talked to her briefly on Facebook, and she seems like a really lovely girl. I've checked out some of her videos. She's very well informed. She's just a really intelligent, beautiful young woman, and I cannot wait to see her video. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye.